enjoyed the questions, but we have one more presenter tonight, which I think is really critical to finish the part of the puzzle. There's a wonderful group. I've been a pet project of mine for many years, and we're looking to partner and expand its use for our parents. And it's Tech Goes Home. Dan is here from Tech Goes Home. It's a wonderful organization that gives parents exactly what we were talking about tonight: the tools, physical tools, as well as the education to know what's working with their kids. Okay, Dan, please.
Hello. Good evening. First, let me apologize. My wife is very pregnant, so my phone is in my pocket. So if I get a weird text that says, "Dan, you need to get home," well, I'm gonna run. Home. I'm not sure if people have heard about us. I'm seeing some nods. That's good. I know there's one trainer in the room, which is wonderful. Our real purpose is to fight for digital equity, because now, especially hearing all the questions that have been brought up just tonight, it's very clear that if you do not have hardware, if you do not have access, and if you do not have training, you or your family member or whoever we're talking about is at a significant disadvantage. So what we want to do is basically close that loop. BPS works really hard to get technology into the hands of kids at home, but one of the themes that has come up here is that, well, what happens, BPS helps get technology in the hands of kids when they're at school. What happens when they go home? So we close that gap by saying, okay, we're going to go to schools and we're going to hire classroom teachers of your kids to become Tech Goes Home trainers. They're then going to offer a 15-hour course that's going to cover everything from how do I apply for a job online, how do I access BPS resources online, how do I access city resources online, how do I use online apps that are designed for students who are blind. I mean, we do a lot of work with those tools. We then provide the hardware for $50, so you can get a brand new Chromebook if you complete all 15 hours for $50. We also run courses for students with significant special needs, and in that case, it's usually an iPad for $50 as well. Also in those courses, we pay for the apps that are used. So what we do is we work with the teachers, and we say, okay, here are the 5 or 6 apps that need to go on to the iPad, because we all know some of these apps are not cheap. So what we do is we fund them so then the iPad that goes home can match the same iPad that's in school, so when the child and the family are home doing work, they basically can have the same devices. The other thing we do is we really work to get people discounted internet access, because the fact is that, and no offense to Comcast, but Comcast is expensive.
Oh my God.
I'm hearing a lot of agreements. But did you know that you can get high-speed internet for $10 a month? No. Most people don't, but now you do. I have this little device in my pocket. It's called a mobile hotspot. I got this device. I paid $40 for it. And I have, for $10 a month, unlimited internet access on this. And I can connect 8 devices to this at once. Laptops, phones, iPads.
Does that travel with you?
This goes wherever, it's in my pocket right now, so it goes with me.
You have access?
It works here. Yeah, it works in about 95% of Boston. Now, I can't guarantee it's going to work in your neighborhood. If you live in an apartment building that's all concrete, well, it might not work there. But for most people, it does work. So what I'd like to quickly do here is talk a little bit about our programs, show you how to can get the internet access, because you don't have to run through Tech Goes Home to sign up for discounted internet access. It's open to everyone. I've had this for 4 years now. I pay $10 a month. Actually, what I do is I pay once a year. They let you pay $120 once, and then I have internet access for the entire year. And just so you know, you can watch Netflix on this, so when I watch my House of Cards, I can watch it on that.
That just hooks up to your phone, your computer, whatever you have.
You don't have to hook up to anything.
Well,
You just turn it on, and then it works.
What kind of device is that?
It's called a mobile hotspot.
where do you get that?
I'm going to show you that in a second. So in I think you have a packet and it really talks about a number of our different programs. So I want to do a very quick overview of our programs. The first one is called TGH School. And this is the one that's probably most relevant to the people in this room. Every year we run about 3,000 people through Tech Goes Home in our school program. We're in 50 schools in the city, and 45% of our courses have students with special needs in them. So this is not just for, I hate this term, but regular ed kids. I don't know. Anyway, this is open to anyone and everyone. We also have some courses that are designed specifically for students with significant disabilities. For example, Dorchester Academy, starting on May 2nd, is running a course for students who are visually impaired. So what we're doing is we give each family, after they complete the 15 hours of training, an iPad for $50. We put the apps on the device that the teacher decides, because I'm no expert when it comes to working with blind students. The teacher is. So the teacher says to us, I want these 5 apps for our kids. We get those apps for the kids. We also run courses for students with autism. We run courses with students with physical disabilities. We try to accommodate as many students and disabilities as we possibly can. We have never said no to a school that wants to run a course. In the 5 years that we've been doing this, we've never said no. So, the next obvious question is, well, is Tech Goes Home at my school? It might be. On our website, you can see there's a courses link right here. And if you were to click on that, you'll see a list of all the schools in Boston that we're in. And of course, I'm having trouble scrolling here. So we're in a lot of Boston schools.
What are you, a Mac user?
What's that? Yeah, I'm a Mac user. If we're not on this list, talk to your school, talk to your principal, talk to your teachers. We will pay teachers a stipend to offer this course. So there's some incentive there for teachers to do this. What's that? What school are you at?
Well, the Henderson, we just got there.
Henderson Elementary.
Elementary, but it's not in the middle school.
Not in the middle school, so talk to the school.
It can be, I don't think expanding is a problem at this point.
We're happy to run more courses. I mean, it's kind of late in the year now, but for next year, definitely talk to the school.
Well,
So it's a totally different.
If you have pushback, talk to me. I've got business cards up here with phone numbers and emails. Our website is techgoeshome.org. We're more than happy to reach out to schools. Like I said, we're in over 50 schools in the city. That's our school-based program. We also have a community-based program, which is specifically designed just for adults. Because sometimes you want the technology, it's not necessary for your kid. I'm briefly going to mention it because I know we focus on families here. But our community program focuses on people between the ages of 18 and 93. Our oldest participant 2 years ago, she was 93 years old. She lived in Boston her entire life. She had never used a keyboard before. Never mind a computer. She had never used a keyboard before. And at the end of the 15 hours, she learned how to video chat with her great-grandchildren in Atlanta, Georgia. Which is just one skill to learn, but for her, I think she probably learned more in the class than anyone in the history of Tech Goes Home. Even though it was just one thing. But it opened a new world for her to be able to communicate with her family. And we've seen some studies recently, specifically for seniors, and how important it is that they continue to communicate with family members. It significantly fights depression and anxiety, so we're really happy with that.
It's also the largest growing demographic, too, of their users.
And very few of them have internet access, so we really push that. Just another quick story about her. We ask everyone to do this like final project in Tech Goes Home. And she did hers on how she met her husband in 1938 at the Wang Center, which was a movie house at the time. And she was 16 or 17 at the time, and apparently she was there seeing a movie with a girlfriend. And her soon-to-be husband walked over and said, "Hey, I'd like to go out with you." And she said no, because, I'll never forget this, she said, "because I was playing hard to get." And I just imagine a 93-year-old woman saying, "I was playing hard to get." But that's who we serve, and we want to serve everyone and anyone that we can do. So our community programs for adults, you can see right on our website. These are all of our community courses in the middle section here. We typically are running at any given time in 40 different community sites throughout the city. We're in every neighborhood. I will warn you that our community program fills up very fast. Many of our sites have long wait lists. You can see closed, full, but you can always reach out to us and we can try and connect you with a site, or you can look on here, there's even a map you can look at as well. We also have a small business program, which I'm not going to talk much about, but we do have a program designed for anyone who's interested in starting a small business. So you can ask us about that. The last one I want to mention is our early childhood program. So this is something that's new for us, but we're very passionate about it because of a lot of things we've been reading lately. For example, there was a study done recently that looked at 4-year-olds, and they found that if you grow up in a wealthy family, you'll have heard 30 million more words by the time you're 4 than someone who grows up in a poor family. The state of Texas, when deciding how many prison cells to build, one of the factors they use are 4th grade literacy rates. They see there is a direct correlation between whether you can read at grade level and how many jail cells to build, which is tragic. I mean, I can't, when I read that, I almost cried. So we said, you know what, we offer Tech Goes Home in schools for adults, well, we need to do something for the little kids. So now we're running in a lot of the early education centers in the city. We're working with the Salvation Army. We're working with a number of sites where, similar to some of the iPad programs I mentioned earlier, we focus on things like literacy apps for 3- and 4-year-olds. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she refused to talk until she was after 2 years old. So we used a lot of apps on the iPad to really help her out. So I had a personal experience with it. So all of the apps we use in our program, I say they're Zoe approved. That's my 4-year-old, they're Zoe approved. But it's similar to what we were talking about earlier. We will actually pay for the apps that they come home with you. And the iPad itself is, again, $50. So that's a very quick factor 10 overview of our program. The one thing I want to show you is the internet piece. Yes? TechGoesHome.org. Yep. So on our website, we've got this little link here. You can see it says Connecting Boston. You can see information on all of our programs: school, community, small business, and early childhood. This is a screen cap. These two were in a course, and they were video chatting with her mother for the very first time. I just love the expression on their face. So what you do is you click on Connecting Boston, and anyone can do this. This is not just Tech Goes Home participants. This is going to take you to this site. Click here. And this is going to take you to a nonprofit called everyoneon.org. I can't emphasize this enough. They are a nonprofit. They're not in this game to make money. They're in to get people online. They ask you 2 questions. First question is, what's your zip code? So I'm just going to put in that zip code. In fact, I think there's a flyer in your handout with how to do this. The second and final question they ask is, does your student receive free and reduced lunch? Every student in the city of Boston receives free lunch, so just say yes. It will now show you the internet options. The way they do this is they work with companies and nonprofits and negotiate better deals for you. Comcast has something called Comcast Internet Essentials. You may have heard of it, maybe not. The problem with Comcast Internet Essentials is it's a wired connection, so it doesn't work on your iPad or your phone. Even the latest models of Chromebooks don't have jacks in them, so you can't do it on that. You can't already have Comcast Internet. You can't have had Comcast Internet for the last 90 days. You can't owe Comcast any money that's older than a year. There's all these restrictions. It takes 3 weeks to sign up. You have to have it installed. So if that's not enough to scare you away, I don't know what to do. The ones we recommend is this one here. $10 a month. You get one of these little devices. No, this is a different one. $10 a month, you get one of these devices. The device costs $40 up front. So it's a one-time cost.
I'm sorry, freedom products that you're talking about?
I'm talking about the basic internet one.
Okay.
You get unlimited data on it, which means you can watch as much Game of Thrones as you want, and make emails as you want, as much cruising internet as you want. Cancel anytime, no contract. You don't even need a credit card. So if you don't have a credit card, what you can actually do is use one of those prepaid debit cards that you get at CVS. You know, you can buy one of those with cash and then use it online. The reason we recommend this one over the free one, free sounds really nice, but it's got a data cap. So basically, if you get online and you're trying to watch your latest favorite show or trying to watch a YouTube video, chances are you're going to hit that cap pretty quickly, and then you don't have internet for the rest of the month. Now, that's up to you. Free is really nice, but we recommend this $10 a month one. Yeah.
What's the name of the academy here?
This is called a mobile hotspot.
Yeah, flight. Information we have flight.
Oh, we have,
I'm sorry, say that again?
We have card to like to fly paper like that.
Oh, do you have a piece of paper? Do you have a handout with that information?
There's a handout in there, I think, on how to get to, no,
It's on this one.
on the back? Oh yeah, it's on the bottom of that page. Right there, that one right there. It looks like this one.
Okay.
It looks like this. Okay. I always hesitate when I do this little talk about the internet. I'm not a salesman. I don't work for any of these companies. I definitely don't get, our nonprofit doesn't get any money from them. So I don't want to sell you something that's not good, but I can say I have it myself. So I figure that's... I'm sorry? The question is, where do you get this device? The way it works is you just click on Enroll Online. You fill out one-page form and they mail it to you.
Can they call my phone?
T-Mobile. The question was, who is the provider for this one? The provider for this one is, it's the T-Mobile network.
Dan, does it work anywhere T-Mobile is, or only in Boston?
It works anywhere T-Mobile is. So for example, I recently took the train down to New York, and I was able to use it most of the way.
okay, but you say 40 for the device, but it's 60 for the
Oh, the question is, why does it say 60 there? They charge $20 for shipping, which I think is silly, but it is what it is. So that's the internet piece.
I have one more question. So how do you go about hooking it up, hooking that device up? Because that's my first time seeing that device. How do you go about hooking that device up to your computers or whatever you got on laptops?
It's
The
wireless.
question is, how do you connect the device? You basically, you get it, you turn it on. You get on your iPad or your phone or your laptop or whatever it is, and you click on the little, there's a little cone. You click on that, and then you'll see whatever the name of the device is, you connect to it.
Oh, okay. Anybody can connect to it, or do you have to
You set a
have
password. The question is, can anyone get on? You can set a password if you want. I would recommend setting a password.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. No one rides for free, right?
So, just an overview. We look at this as what we do as kind of like a three-legged stool. That if you don't have one of these three things, your stool falls over. If you don't have internet access, if you don't have hardware, an iPad or computer or whatever it is, and then almost most importantly, if you don't have the training on how to use it, your stool falls over. There was a study done recently in New York City where they gave a bunch of kids laptops and internet access and zero training for the parent or the kid. And you know what their test scores did? They went down. You give someone a toy and they're going to play. We look at what we provide as tools. And we provide you, the parent, the training that allows you to become more involved in your kids' digital lives. Because I have a 4-year-old and she's smarter than I am when it comes to the iPad. She showed me how to do something. I am not lying. She showed me how to do something the other day using iPhoto. And she's 4. I'm just like, and I live in this world. So this is a great opportunity for you as parents to learn about the technology your kids are using on a daily basis. The other thing, last thing I want to highlight is, and I think it's a theme across from what I heard earlier today in this meeting. It's called Tech Goes Home, but the most important piece isn't the technology. It's the relationship that gets formed between you and the school. I can't think of another opportunity where you get to spend 15 hours of time with your child's teacher. There's 3 reasons people usually go to a school. There's a sporting event, or there's like a concert. There's an open house where you might get 5 minutes with your kid's teacher because they're so harried. Or your kid's in trouble. Those are the 3 major. Here's an opportunity for you to have fun. This is a fun thing to do, both for you and I know, I'm seeing a nod from one of our trainers back there. So,
It is true, and last year we did at the Youth Commerce Assistance Center, hearing parents from all over the place, different language.
participants, the adult participants, have English is not their primary language. So we do work with a lot of non-English speaking. About most of those speakers are Spanish. One thing I'll just mention before your question, for non-English speaking families, we offer a free subscription to Rosetta Stone online to try and work on your English. I wish we could offer that for everyone, but Rosetta Stone is not cheap.
I had asked,
So.
Tech Goes Home, and I was wondering, why don't they offer it to English-speaking parents who want to learn Spanish?
So the question is, why don't we offer Rosetta Stone for English-speaking parents who want to learn another language? The issue is that it costs us $100 per adult, so it's very expensive. So we really want to focus on those who need it the most.
Our goal too is to work with the district on those type of issues of software applications and these type of programs to give parents more options, whether it be learn English, whether it be other options as well, but also to learn technology.
What about students who want to learn a different language and Rosetta Stone at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would love to offer Rosetta Stone to everyone, but at this point, we can only offer it to people that want to learn English.
So quick question. I don't know if it was me that got distracted or
please.
thrown off. How do you actually get the hotspot? Like,
When you go to our website, the question is how to get the hotspot or how to sign up.
No, the little.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
okay.
sign up for it. If you go to techgoeshome.org, you can click on this Connecting Boston link and it'll take you right there. Or if you want, you can go directly to ConnectingBoston.org.
It's on our
Do they ship
website.
it to you?
They mail it to you.
Okay.
So it's on our website. Under the library, there's a page, Tech Goes Home, which has all of the documents tonight, as well as the links to go right here. There's also, I think, a phone number to call Connecting Boston.
Yeah, there's a phone number right here.
You
Right.
can call everyone on, yes.
So if you don't have access, you can use that to get access.
What's that, I'm sorry? What do you mean?
Out of the US, can I go overseas like that?
I don't know if the question is, will it work outside the country? I don't know. There is a map you can go to via the website once you get in there, and it might show that. I've never looked. I should look though. Yes?
My question is, did they know that this year to bring 5, because I had Tech Goes Home for my son, right?
Okay.
But I didn't get 5 free apps with it. I got the laptop,
So the question,
iPad, and that was it.
yeah, the question is on, for most Tech Goes Home courses, for $50, people get a Chromebook. That's the majority. We make exceptions, or we have special courses that run with the iPads, and that's where we provide the apps. The apps are usually preloaded. Where'd you take your course?
Madison.
You got an iPad at Madison
Yeah.
from Tech Goes Home? Oh, let me give you my
Because he had
card and we'll talk.
special-
Okay. Oh, let's talk afterwards, because that was a different situation. Okay.
I have a question about that, because I've been trying to do that program with my son when we were in another school, but he just was always hospitalized. So every time we try to do it, so it was like, I mean, he does have special needs, he does need the extra support. So are you ever able to take the course someplace else, like say he is well, or?
Yeah, what I would do is let me give you my card, and then we can talk on the phone, and we can definitely figure something out. Probably not for this year because the school year's ending, but definitely we'll make sure the fall happens.
What we're looking to do too is going forward is to have our own Tech Goes Home classes for our parents, either with the kids, we'll work with Dan, whether it be a parent-only option or a parent-child combo. We'll find the best way to work it. We want to make sure it's successful and well attended as well. So we'll work on that as the relationship builds. But again, it's a great program.
When I my son have autism, he go to school. If I buy the iPad, are you gonna download software can help you speak?
If it's part of the question is, if you get the iPad, will we pay for the apps that you use? Are you talking outside of Tech Goes Home?
Yeah.
No.
If I buy the inside the tablet.
No. If you take Tech Goes Home with your son,
Yeah.
and the teacher picks 5, 6, 7 apps that you're using, we pay for those apps. But it's up to the teacher to decide which apps we're going to purchase.
How do I sign it?
How do you what?
How do I sign it?
How do you sign up?
Yeah.
Talk to your school. Talk to the school, talk to your teachers. Like I said earlier, we've never said no to a school that wants to run. So talk to your school, talk to the principal. If you don't get anywhere there, talk to me. I have cards I can hand out. You can shoot me an email or give me a call. And we're happy to, we want to make it work, so. Oh, wonderful. You're starting on May 2nd. I love it. That's great.
I
Yes.
have a question for the internet. How efficient is the internet speed? Does it work or does it freeze?
The question, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. The question is, how good is the speed on the mobile hotspot? It's not blazing fast. It's not the fastest thing you've ever used.
Can you watch video on it?
You can. I've watched Netflix on it.
Well, then that's enough.
So that's the question. I have watched Netflix on it myself. The concern I have about the Comcast thing, about canceling Comcast, I just warn you to be careful. Because many people, when they sign up for triple plays, you know, like internet, phone, and cable all together. Sometimes if you try to cancel one of them, they'll charge you a lot of money. So you've got to be careful about that, because I would hate to have you cancel it and get a $150 cancellation bill. So your first question to Comcast is, how long do I have on my contract? And if they say, you don't have a contract, you can do whatever you
I
want.
think recently they changed it so that, you know, it used to be you'd lock in for a year or two, and I don't think there's a contract period anymore because of the competition.
Oh, great. So
When you think about
Better to be safe
you should
than
check,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about $150, what do you pay for a cable bill
A
every
lot more
month?
than that.
Exactly, so you're gonna know, but it's still gonna come out, even if you get a $150.
But it's good outside, because that's the part that
Well, one of the question is really about what side, I mean, it's an individual decision.
Correct.
What's best for you? I will say that early on, before these hotspots came up, we did a lot of research and surveys about why people didn't have internet access at home. And one of the reasons that was given is that people move around a lot. Not everyone stays in the same home for 6 months at a time.
So, okay, so I bought it and I canceled, and I have it in my pocket, and I can on my cellular,
Yes,
my iPod,
Yes.
my computer.
yes.
My son is at home using the computer, but I do have the hotspot with me.
It's a very good question.
Yeah,
So basically, anything you want to connect to the internet, you need to be near that device. I can't get in the highway at 93 and drive to Quincy and have it still work in my apartment. That's not going to work.
But it's great for phones, because I mean, I
So
think.
can you just buy more than one?
You can sign more than once if you want, yeah. One thing I'll mention about the phone piece too. So sometimes people might say, well, I don't know if I can afford internet even for $10 a month. Well, most people who have a smartphone, they also have data. So you pay an extra $40 a month for data. Well, I connect my iPhone to this mobile hotspot. It's a Wi-Fi connection, so I'm not using any of my data from AT&T,
Your plan.
which means I can lower the cost of my data plan because I'm not using it as much. And in most cases, that's going to cover the cost of just having the internet in your home.
Yeah, if you make it work.
And I mean, if you run through Tech Goes Home, one of the things we like to show families is ways you can save money just by having internet access. Like, did you know you can make long distance and international phone calls right from your Gmail account?
Yep.
Oh, I never used it, but I had.
So my sister used to live in Amman, Jordan. So if I call her with AT&T, it's 59 cents a minute, which is outrageous. If I use my Gmail account, it was 14 cents a minute. I saved 45 cents a minute. So basically, I talked to her for 22 minutes, and I covered the cost of my internet for the month. So anyway, that's my spiel, yeah.
I call always East Africa, how do you work the Gmail account?
Well,
You gotta take the class.
so, if you want, this is the thing. Everything on our website is free and open. There's no firewall, there's no login. If you click on any of this, like if I click on school here, it's taking its time. All of our tutorials are free. You can download how to use Gmail. So you can see how to use Gmail, how to use like Common Sense Media. Is anyone familiar with Common Sense Media? So this is an amazing site that does parent-friendly ratings of every type of media that kids consume. Books, apps, websites, movies, music, video games, whatever you want. It allows you as a parent to go search for, say, Grand Theft Auto. This happened in one of our middle school classes. A grandmother who's raising her grandson said, I want Grand Theft Auto, the video game, for my birthday. Grandmother bought it for him. She thought it was a car racing game. She then went and looked up, and she found that in Grand Theft Auto, you kill people for money, you sleep with prostitutes for health points, you can go into strip clubs and get drunk, and there's even a pornographic mode that turns it into what you think it would turn it into. Now, whether that's appropriate for an 18-year-old, it's definitely not appropriate for a 10-year-old, which was in this class. One of the little projects we ask our families, our trainers to do in schools, is before they introduce Common Sense Media, have the kids write down their 5 favorite video games, movies, music artists, whatever it is. Hand that piece of paper to mom or dad or grandma or whoever's there. Introduce Common Sense Media and have the adult go look up everything that kid put down. I had one trainer tell me about 6 months ago that his kids would not talk to him for 6 months because they were so mad that they did that. Yes?
So earlier I said my cellular, and you didn't object to that. That pays for service for my cellular?
What it does is it allows you to connect your phone to the device, which means you won't use the data plan on your phone.
Oh.
You'll instead use Wi-Fi, which means you can lower your cost. So anyway, our site is full of all of these tutorials. In fact, we've got a bunch of BPS tutorials on here. So there's a tutorial here on how to use the Student Information System, the Aspen program that BPS has. We've got English and Spanish tutorials with step-by-step guide to how to sign up. There's even a video that shows you. In fact, BPS, I was recently on the BPS page, on their SIS page, and they have this link that says, hey, are you curious about how to use our SIS system? And it links right to our tutorial. Has everyone seen the Where's My School Bus app?
Yeah, I use that a lot.
I use that.
I'm good with that.
If you don't, you should start.
So we have a tutorial.
Right where the bus is.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
The only thing is when it's at the front bus.
No, yeah. That's good.
Just put in your name, your last
So you
name.
can see there's a tutorial, step-by-step guide. It gives you a map where you can track your bus. For families who have students with special needs, I think this is amazingly important because as you know, I'm preaching to the choir, but as you know, buses for students with special needs traverse the entire city. I worked at BPS for 10 years in schools. And we had one bus for students with autism that at 3:30 in the afternoon had to drive from East Boston to Dorchester. I don't think it was on time once. But we didn't have this at the time. So, and as any parent here knows, if you've got a student with autism, it's all about schedule and structure. So every day this was a struggle. Knowing where the bus was would have been huge. So this is Anyway,
It's,
used
now
to-
again, if you miss it, it's on our website, but it's also on the bottom of every email, so is Texas Home. It's all there, so you don't, if you miss it all now, you get it back.
Help your job, you know, when to run out and look for your job.
the question is it all school buses? As far as I know, it's every school bus. There might be exceptions, but
It's
as far
unique,
as I know,
now, you can't choose the bus you wanna look at, it's for your bus.